Welcome everyone back to another edition of Beyond the Precon. This is Steve, and it's time to go with Mr. Pietro Maximov, who is running up to the plate. Pun intended. All right, so before we go any further, please guys who like these videos, leave it a nice thumbs up, nice little comments. Tell me what you like about the Azul Speedster, and Azul is blue in Spanish. So what do you like about him? How do you like to build him? And all that good stuff. And then share. And let's keep talking. All right, so let's take a look at Pietro Maximov. He is a civilian with a hand size of 6 and 9 hit points on the low side. But he has a recovery of 3. And he has an ability called the Super Powered Siblings. He has an action that you can discard 2 cards from your hand and draw 2 cards. That's pretty good. But you can draw 3 cards if Wanda Maximoff is in play. Now that is cool because that gives you, it's really, really fun because it's the first alter ego action that has an effect if another hero is in play. So that's really, really interesting. Love that. And when we look at him in his hero size, he is Quicksilver, the man with the plan. He has 1 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense. Blech. Very low. He is an Avenger with the super speed trait. It's not super speed trait. Super speed response. But he has a hand size of 5 and response after you use one of Quicksilver's basic powers. Thwart attack or defense. Ready him once per phase. Now again, remember a phase is the hero phase and villain phase. So you can do 2 things, and then during the villain step, you can defend and ready and defend again. So that's what you can attack twice, or you can attack and thwart, or you can defend twice during the thing. So that's really good. So that's this whole shtick is you want to be feels like you're running all the time, so you're just readying your character over and over. That's why he's got solo stats. Now, let's take a look at Mr. Quicksilver and the uniqueness of the cards that make him special. So he's got a couple of cards that are really, really interesting. The first one is the support. It's called Serval Industries. This is definitely a card you want to be playing as soon as you get it. When you go to Alter Ego, you get to exhaust this and shuffle 2 Quicksilver cards from your discard pile into your deck. Again, I talked about recurring cards. That is the bomb. And then with this card, with Serval Industries, there's a lot of cards that are useless in the beginning. So those cards, you'll want to be shuffling them back because once you are a little bit further advanced in your character's development, then those cards are going to be worth a lot more and way more powerful. So this is definitely the upgrade, the support card you want to be putting down. Then I think the ultimate upgrade for Quicksilver is Friction Resistance. Now that is insane value. So Friction Resistance reads, after you ready Quicksilver, you ready this card. So every time Quicksilver readies, you ready. So it's very important, guys. So you want to be using this as a resource before you do something else. Because then when you ready, you trigger, you ready this. So this is always, basically, it's 2 resources a turn. So you use it, ready, use it, ready. So all these 1-cost cards you want to be playing, this is awesome for him because he keeps getting ready. And then you keep being able to play cards with this. So this is not only a 1 resource generator, sometimes it's a 2, 3, or even 4 resource generation here. So this card is the bomb. Then we have his augmented everything. So we got the card that gives him +1 attack. We have the card that gives him +1 defense. We have the card that gives him +1 thwart. So finally he becomes a 2/2/2. Then, so for the cost of 6, he becomes Captain America. So again, it's good. I like Quicksilver, but in the beginning, he's a little weak. So you really want to be finding these accelerated and these augmented things that just bring up his stats to 2/2/2. Then it starts making a lot more sense. All right, then he has his sister, the Scarlet Witch, which is also Wanda Maximoff. So if you are playing solo, she is also Wanda Maximoff in Scarlet Witch. So this will be able to trigger if she is there, because she has both the Wanda Maximoff and Scarlet Witch. But if you are playing with with somebody that's playing on the hero side, to be able to trigger this, the hero, which I have somewhere here, would have to be, because see, it's only Scarlet Witch here, and this is, and then Wanda Maximoff is on this side. So There you go. So you want to be able to trigger that properly. All right. So that's for the cards that he wants to set up. I really like Scarlet Witch. That is a card that you want to keep on the table. It is not an ally that you want to just chump block with. It's not worth it. All right, now let's take a look at this one, the Speed Cyclone. Now that card is awesome. You pay X. That means if you have 3 resources, you can stun 3 enemies. It's just brilliant. Normally, I just use it for 1. I just stun the boss. But yeah, so if there's like lots of big minions in play, you can just like, all right, I'm stunning everything. I'm taking a break. There we go. All right, then we have 4 copies of a card. Now this, the last time we saw 4 copies of something is, I think, the Wakanda Forevers. Yeah, that was 5 copies. So we have 4 copies of Always Be Running. Now this is a great card into the mid-game to late game. In the beginning, do not keep this in your hand. This is garbage. He's only thwarting for 1. It doesn't matter. You don't want. So these cards are the kind of cards you want to cycle back with your Serval Industries. So don't keep these Always Be Running when you're starting. Just toss them. Find your permanents that increase your stats. Then these cards are going to be worth it later on in the game. But in the early game, my favorite card for early game is these double times. This is the card you want to be playing in the beginning. This is 2 damage to 2 enemies or 2 threat to 2 off 2 side schemes. So this is awesome. So this is 2 for 4 damage or 2 for 4 threat removal. Super, super solid. All right, and then finally, this is his big card. Again, this is better off in the mid to late game. But even in early game, this can be really powerful because this is until the end of the round. It gives +2, +2, +2. So he becomes a 3/3/3 or a 4/4/4 for 1 turn. So then imagine if you have 2 or 3 of those Always Be Runnings with this. Now you're just laughing all the way to the bank. So these are the cards that make him unique and special. As you can see, you want to be running, you want to be raiding as much as you can. But before you start running, you want to make sure that your shoelaces are tied properly. And how do you do that? By getting most of your upgrades on the table as quickly as possible. That should always be your priority with the Quicksilver. Now let's take a look at his precon. He comes in protection, which is sweet. And let's see what the precon looks like. All right, so this is what his precon looks like. Right now we got some reprints. We got 2 armored vests as a reprints and the 3 double resources, which is okay. But we got a whole slew of new cards. As for allies, we got Warlock, which is our first X Factor. And then because Quicksilver was part of the X Factor team, so I really like that they included an X-Men team. And then we have Multiple Man, which is one of the funnest allies in the game, where you can just play 1 and then get 3 allies on the table for 4. That's pretty good. They're not very strong, but they are pretty interesting as a card concept, very likely. And then we got some really sweet. We got a resource generator with the Nerves of Steel for defense events. And then we got 2 new defense events. We got the Never Back Downs that stuns for a perfect defense, and a Sidestep that deals a damage when you use a lightning resource. So again, this deck really showcases and really helps augment the perfect defense strategy. And again, if you want to see some of those videos, you can look at my Aspects Understanding the Strategies playlist to see all about how to build those decks with these different strategies. Now, moving forward, then we got some sweet cards. We got Adrenaline Rush and Civic Duty. And what these cards are, these are permanents that you play on the table. And when you are ready, you could pop them off and get a boost of +1 attack or a +1 thwart until the end of the phase. So that is really cool. And you can really bring out some of the best out of Quicksilver when you start putting those out there, and you can have like these mega turns. Okay, so how do we upgrade this precon to make it even better? Well, here are some of the cards that I would remove personally for this. So the first thing, I would remove the allies. As much as fun is Multiple Man, I prefer having Scarlet Witch on the table than that. Then Warlock, he's okay, but he's just a 1/1 that he's so vanilla that I'm like, Yes, I can spend a mental to heal him for 2 damage. I don't know. For me, he was a big letdown. All right, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3. That's 4 cards already that I would remove. Easy enough if I'm playing solo. I would remove these ones. So that's 5 and 6, and then 7 cards with the armored vest. But you're like, Steve, what are you going to replace this with? Well, that's pretty simple. We're just going to add 3 protection cards. We're going to add 3 of the Indomitables. Again, the whole point of this deck is to get rid of most of our cards from our deck, to always see our always be runnings and our maximum velocities and our really good cards. So I would add 3 Indomitables just to make sure that if the villain attacks me 2 times or 3 times, I can always be ready. And that is what's important. You want to start the villain turn standing up, and you want to end the villain turn standing up, and then you want to do your hero things, so you always have some actions. Now, the other great card that I would add, and this is a card that, it never saw play before this guy, is Tenacity. And I would definitely recommend that you play 3 Tenacities in your deck. So this is what I would strategize, is once you have all 3 Adrenaline Rushes on the table, and then all 3 Tenacities, then you can go for the mega turn, where you would pop all 3 of these off, so give yourself a +3 attack, and then you pop off maximum velocity, so you give yourself a +5 attack, and then all you need to do is attack. So then you're attacking for 5, for 10, and then if you have 1 or 2 always be running in the so that's 15, 20. If you have all 3 Tenacities, that's 25, 30, 35 damage on the table in 1 turn. So that's super, super awesome. And because I'm like, well, Steve, you took out all the allies. Can you do that? So yeah, you have Scarlet Witch as an ally. And the other ally I would add is Mockingbird. Not even a Nick Fury. I would just add Mockingbird, because then she can come in, she can stun the villain, and then she can thwart twice, and then just block for you if you need it. Or you just keep her on the table in for like an emergency, or when you're about to reshuffle your deck and then get rid of it. So that is what I would recommend, how I would go beyond the pre-con and upgrading the Quicksilver deck just using the core set. And this deck is super, super solid. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the hero packs that I would get if I want to make Quicksilver my #1 guy. All right, guys, so here we go. See here, it was very hard to find just a common denominator. So what I did is I'm going to talk about some of the best cards right now, depending on what aspect you want to build Quicksilver in. So the hero packs, if you want to build Quicksilver in aggression, one of the best packs that you can get is the Thor pack, because it comes with Battle Fury, which is a great card. It's a way to take a damage and ready after you defeat a minion. So that's super fun. It's an extra ready for Quicksilver. So it combines really well. But the key piece to that is actually Yawnborn, because you can use your friction resistance to pay for Yawnborn and then deal 2 extra damage every time you do a basic attack. So because it readies when Quicksilver readies, you can get multiple triggers, and then you get the bonus of the Under Surveillance Van if ever you want to play Quicksilver Injustice. Now the second one I do enjoy, and it's kind of like a mixture. It's the Guardians Most Wanted box because of Rocket and Groot. And then in their packs, you get a couple of really nice cards. So in Rocket's pack, you get the Hand Cannon, which just gives your attacks overkill. So it can be really, really powerful with Quicksilver. And if you want to play him in protection, you get the Hard to Ignore. So once you get that perfect defense. But the best card in that box is 100% Def Focus, because it allows you to pay for most of Quicksilver's cards, because they are all superpowers. So Def Focus is the key card of the Guardians box if you want to build Quicksilver. So it's one of the best cards. Then the other card I would say if you want to build Quicksilver in protection would be the Ms. Marvel pack. Not only for energy barriers and the tackle, but you also get a bonus if you want to play him in leadership with morale boost that boosts all your stats until the end of the round, which is amazing. So it's like half of what your maximum velocity does with the morale boost. And then you have the two key pieces, because Quicksilver is so low on health. You have the endurance and the downtime that really help Quicksilver stay in the game when he needs to. So that's another great pack here to get. The other one, if you like Quicksilver in protection, would be the Doctor Strange pack that gives you the Desperate Defense. So how this would trigger is your super speed, and especially if you want to play in multiplayer. So you can defend, you can use Desperate Defense, and then ready, then defend with somebody else, and then use your Quicksilver ability to ready again. So you can, if you don't make the perfect defense, you can still use your super speed and then ready. But maybe you get the perfect defense and get a free ready, so then you have a third option to block. So that's really, really cool. The money card's obviously unflappable, so if you make a perfect defense, you draw. But the Night Nurse is definitely what you want here from that hero pack, because Quicksilver being stunned or confused really slows him down, pun intended. And also you get the bonus of the Iron Man card if you're playing in leadership. So another great pack to get. All right, and then Sinister Mogu's box gives us another great protection card and a basic card. So Ghost Spider's deck comes with What Doesn't Kill Me. So again, because Quicksilver has that friction resistance, you're always sure to have that requirement of the mental, and then you don't need to go down to Alter Ego that often with Quicksilver. So then you can really have some fun with those. But I think the best card for Quicksilver in the box is the Symbiote suit, who once you're fully built, he becomes a 3/3/3. That's just broken, and then bang, 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 and then when he gets his always be runnings, always be running lots. So those are like some of the key cards. Now, if you want to build him in leadership, then like I said, I didn't put anything for Justice, because Justice you only need the Heroic Intuition, and that comes in the core box. But if you want to build him in leadership, I think honorable mention to Ant-Man for the Moxie card. But I think the hero pack you want to get if you're going to build Quicksilver in leadership is Ironheart, because of cards like R&D Facility that give you +1/+1 to your stats. But the best ones are obviously the cards like Push Ahead. But the money card is Go All Out. Yeah, you do have to exhaust, but then if all your stats are super strong, imagine with a maximum velocity and then with an always be running, bam, you're just raking it. So pumped up hero, Ironheart, definitely what you want to be doing. And then finally, another great card if you're going to build Quicksilver with some Avengers complementary to leadership. It would be the Hawkeye box with Rise of Red Skull, because Earth's Mightiest Hero is another way to ready Quicksilver, and that is the money card in that box. So as you can see, it wasn't there wasn't that many boxes to be super excited. Like there wasn't like one specific hero pack that makes it like, oh my god, you need to get this. So that's why I was a little bit versatile here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Quicksilver, one of the very strong heroes. I won't say he's like super S tier, because he's really good, but he takes time to build. But he's Quicksilver, so he can build really fast. So the best strategy with Quicksilver, deck thinning in every aspect. Whatever you get, just make sure that you put a lot of permanent cards. And what's funny is that Quicksilver actually makes a card that nobody really plays too much really, really relevant, and that is that Tenacity card. So nobody really plays Tenacity, but with Quicksilver, you can really set up some mega turns here with the Tenacity. So you put 3 in your deck, and then once your stats are like 4/4/4 or 5/5/5, bam, 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 and equip, and it just do some mega damage. All right, guys. There you go. That's it. So keep on playing Marvel Champions. Hope you like this video, and I hope it will help you play the game with Quicksilver and beat the game. Ciao, ciao.